Well, hello and welcome everyone to this month's episode of Aliens. I wasn't about to say a different show name. Of Definitely Aliens, Shoulder of Orion. We also have our wonderful guest back with us again, but let's get to that in a moment. We're all gonna go around, we're gonna say who we are, and who will be playing, and then I'll toss it over to our wonderful GM for this evening, who can give us a recap and get us started. I am Lindy, this is my channel, and I play Captain McKeelson. Used to be just medic, but then responsibility was shoved down their throat, so I guess she's stepping up to the task because she wants to live. So, there's that. I'm excited. You know who's also excited? Deception check.
Oh, absolutely. I am excited, and I am at deception check. I'm playing Special Investigator Hank Granger. I am currently keeping an eye out on our two intelligent members of our group, Dr. Walls and Violet.
A best friend.
Wondering what they're doing in the Yautja ship, and wondering if I have to retire someone soon. Lots to think about. Thank you.
You know, McKeelson was only a couple weeks away from retirement, and then all this bullshit happened. But anyways, we'll get into that later. That's a story for another time. We also have Blaze, one of McKeelson's buddies, members of the crew.
Yep, that's me, Blaze. Blaze by nature, Blaze by name, Blaze is Blaze is a Marine career man. He's a smart gunner. So if anybody's ever seen some movies that involve a certain Vasquez and was it Drake? Yeah, he's a smart gunner. Got the cool eyepiece, the big heavy weapon. So yeah, he likes to shoot them up, bang them up, and have some fun. So I'm excited to play tonight. Let's have some fun.
Excellent, excellent. Speaking of fun, someone who's always a blast to play with, our wonderful guest, Greg. How are you?
I'm great. I'm Greg Grimjack 21502. I'll be playing Dr. Gerald Walls, who is a xenoethologist, I believe. Having a lot of fun. I love the system. I love the world. I love the people that I get to play with and play for in Travis. I can't wait to continue this lovely journey. And because I love Vasquez more than anything else, let's rock.
All right. Someone who's always ready to rock, no matter what the situation, is Nuggetosaurus. Much better transition than last episode.
Yes, that's one I can get behind. Yeah. Hi, I'm Nuggetosaurus. I'm going to be playing Violet, the synthetic human, who's learning some things about, party members and dealing with new revelations about our special investigator and his profession. So, and I think I'm holding a head right now, so that's fun.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this.
Awesome. Someone who is born ready for this kind of thing, or any kind of thing, really. D20 coup de grace.
Yeah, that's me. I'll be playing Corporal Red Brewer. He's a demolition specialist and user of heavy machinery. And let's see. He's daydreaming of being put back in the box.
Oh, sweet, sweet hypersleep. I don't think we'll be getting any of that anytime soon, let alone regular sleep, because someone who's just the most excited out of anyone here happens to also be our game master, and, it's fine. We don't need rest. We'll just die from exhaustion. Travis, how are you?
I'm good because it's another glorious day in the Corps. Day in the Corps is like a day on the farm. Meal a banquet. Every paycheck a fortune. Every formation a parade. I love the Corps.
Yeah.
And I love this game. I'm ready to get it on. Like Donkey Kong. Lindy.
Hoorah!
Hoorah. Here we go. Fade up to a pair of hands and a petri dish and a syringe. Dr. Philip Jeffries spent 20 years paying his dues to the company, toiling away with soil samples and vials of dirt and water. Years in cryotubes, traveling to various bases and research stations, giving talks on handling local wildlife hazards and terraforming missions. Oh no, I gotta give a big hug, everybody.
Oh, big hugs are an important part of tabletop RPGs. Sometimes you just need one, especially in a game as deadly and dangerous as this. Also, if, you know, it's your daughter's bedtime, that too is a good time to give a hug.
It certainly is, everybody. These games are very special because we're got some, you know, it's all got people we love and families, and I really appreciate the time. I like to appreciate my beautiful wife, Erin, who allows me to play these wonderful games. Let's give it up for my lovely wife. I'll show this to her later. Honey, we love you. Thanks so much. Aliens, how else will I get to murder people on the internet if I don't get to do it this way? So, we were talking about Dr. Philip Jeffries toiling away in a laboratory. Then he got the call. A rare specimen, his own lab, about as far from the outer rim, but that is close to the company, but as far out towards the outer rim as you can get. But the company insisted on two things: reproduce the XX121 xenomorph, explore the logistics of long-term military applications, and the second was that he had to bring Leonard, a David 9 model synthetic. Leonard was programmed to assist Dr. Jeffries in his research with unquestioning loyalty. And so he did for 7 years, till things fell apart at Research Facility 292, the zoo on planet LV-10, just outside the arm, off Theta Reticuli. In the ensuing months, station security was compromised. Dr. Jeffries destroyed his research and ended all communications with the company. He then died suddenly, and Leonard wiped company synthetic Violet's mind at her request to maintain the lie that Jeffries had indeed mastered the perpetuation of this most dangerous species and kept it from the company. Weeks later, the facility was invaded by a Yautja hunting party. They removed Leonard's head and massacred the rest of the staff but one, Dr. Gerald Walls, who hid in a laboratory closet. Now Walls is with the Marines, now occupying the zoo. And after an attack by a pair of xenomorph drones, the Yautja and the death of Private Lasso, the Yautja hunting party returned and returned Leonard's head. Violet received a distress and was returning Leonard's head, when Violet received a distress call from Dr. Vanessa Iris, trapped 6 miles away at Site B. Dr. Iris delivered the news that the rest of her team had died or disappeared and that she is in need of immediate rescue. Walls and Violet walk up the ramp of the Yautja ship. Leonard's head rests on a low table. It's covered with a milky black surface, but still hard like marble. There's a low smoke, there's a low vapor clinging to the floor. As I remember, it's pretty late at night, around 2 o'clock in the morning. There's all sorts of weird ribbing and these pylons around the inside of this chamber of the ship. Sort of a low hum. And you see skulls hung like trophies in various places around the walls. Some of them unmistakably of the XX121 xenomorph, but some you don't recognize. Leonard's cold eyes stare off into space as he's resting on his left ear. Special Investigator Hank Granger looks on with the monitor on his data pad, which is connected to a surveillance drone floating above the remains of the facility, keeping an eye on Dr. Walls and Violet. And Granger, you lose track of them as they breach the inside of the ship up the ramp.
Well, I'll reposition the drone in order to try and get a better view inside. Not trying to keep it, trying to stay out of sight as much as possible, as I thought he was safe in the wreckage of the dome above the door. Try to find a perch at a lower angle, set it down so the motors aren't running at the time, and just the camera is looking in through the hole in the back of the ship.
Okay. Try to manipulate this. Why don't we go ahead and what the hell, roll for it here. So would you give me a contact check there?
Okay. Let's see. I don't think I have any modifiers there, so let's just see what we got.
Nice.
Looks like I get a stress from trying to move the.
No, well, let's get specific.
Okay.
So you lower it,
Right.
and we're going to remember this
Oh no.
because what happens as you lower the drone and get a better perspective of the inside of this ship. The drone is very quiet and moves slow under the cover of darkness. And Walls and Violet, you step up the ramp into this low clinging vapor, this mysterious alien ship, and see Leonard's head on this surface. Action.
Does he? Is he? It's just his head, right? Yeah. Yes.
Just his head.
Just
his
okay.
head. It's sliced clean off. It's not messy.
Okay. I guess I'll step up and pick up his head.
Is he functional?
No.
Wait. Okay.
Well, he's not moving, and
Yeah.
his eyes aren't moving, and he's not
Okay.
saying anything.
Yeah, I'll pick him up.
So when you reach for him and put your hands around him, you notice there's sort of a gentle pull towards this table. So it's weird. It's like holding a magnetized object over a magnet. Not as strong, but it's low, and you have to kind of use a little bit of force to remove it from the table.
Okay.
But it looks intact. He's got some wiring hanging out of his neck, but for the most part, it is a clean cut. And he is undamaged otherwise. He looks like Michael Fassbender, by the way. For the folks at home, this is a David 9 model named Leonard. He is like Walter in Alien Covenant, and it's the same model. I'll be playing Michael Fassbender tonight.
No, that's him.
Yeah. It's probably best not to linger in here, right? I mean, they're busy. We could take a look around.
Take the ship. It'll be fine.
We take their ship, they can't chase after us.
We'll also be familiar with at least the what's been described to him about the interior of these ships, correct? Like he would know that they're probably in, like if he saw a command station, could he recognize that?
I'm gonna say no, because Walls, again, we've sort of discussed that Walls himself has some secondhand knowledge, but officially, to your knowledge, the people who were in touch with the Yautja, Jeffries, Leonard, and Dr. Iris, interacted with them over these communication devices and occasionally at the edge of the jungle in person. but you have never seen, and as far as you know, they have never seen the inside of a Yautja craft.
Okay.
And also, it's important to remember that during their hunting cycle, which you would have been familiar with, they come to the planet about once every year and a half, and that this ship comes and drops off hunting parties and then leaves and doesn't come back for a long period of time. So this is the first time that a craft is actually, that you've seen one specifically land.
Can I just take a look around just to make sure, they didn't drop anything, or
Sure.
maybe if Leonard's effects are around, or if they took something else that maybe we weren't aware of and it wasn't just the head, or if I recognize anything, or just a cursory evaluation of Decepticon capabilities here.
So, well, hey, don't get technical with me. So let's just talk turkey here, people. And Predator 2, which is an underrated film, by the way, don't get me started, is, this chamber is about the size of, a double large sort of, it's not a super large chamber. It's got a high ceiling, but it's crowded because of these pillars. And it's very long. It seems to take up the bulk of the middle of the ship. Now, the pillars are covered in runes and strange writing, and there are doors at fore and aft leading into presumably other compartments at the front and back of the ship. But this chamber seems to be mostly empty, except for these skulls and a series of 3 low tables that have this sort of gentle pull that is all their own. And that's all you can tell. The doors on either at the fore and aft are shut.
These skulls, are they any species we recognize?
Only really the xenomorph, and you see human skulls.
Okay. What are the other skulls?
I'm going to go ahead and have you Google the trophy case from Predator 2.
Okay.
Does one of them have like super orbital ridges of like an Austrian?
I mean, let's just go crazy here, people.
I knew you.
I'm ready for the Megalodon. I'm ready for the that dragon that Angela kills in early issues of Spawn, with the giant fucking head, but bleached skulls. I'm talking about any big genre monster you like. I'm ready for a Rancor skull here.
Sweet. I like it.
It's lunacy in here. They've killed many, many, many different things.
Okay.
And kept a record of it in this room.
Cool. I don't think I like it in here. I'm gonna go. Just kind of waiting for Dr. Walls.
Walls would linger just for a second, kind of maybe recording everything, and then paying particular attention to a few of the runes, and then follow.
McKeelson.
Aye.
You've gone inside.
Aye.
What are you holding?
Whatever it is that the predators gave me.
So the Yautja last episode requested through their bizarre speech that Dr. Walls read through the wrist device that they requested to see the warrior who took down the bad blood, the predator Yautja, who shot down the dropship from the Edmund Fitzgerald and nearly killed Chow and Granger in the process. The Yautja hunting party came down, collected the corpse, and requested to meet this warrior who was Captain.
Yep.
and company medic
Very
McKeelson.
competent warrior here.
They handed her a disc. It's about 14 inches wide. It's large. Let's say that's a little big. Let's say more like 12, right? So this thing is honking big. And in the middle of it, just long enough as if you were going to fit your hands around a basketball, McKeelson needs to have kind of big hands. All right? Like she needs to not like superhuman big, but not like little hands. Okay? She could hopefully, just get her hands around like a basketball, And you notice there are 5 grooves, holes in this thing. One clearly for a thumb. And the Yautja have obviously very large hands.
Yeah.
And in the midst of these grooves and these circles, these holes through the device, little fibers, little gently swaying nerve endings in the midst of them.
McKeelson's been holding it like this because they haven't wanted to tilt it or anything, not having any clue. This could be a bomb upon initial receiving, but having walked inside is now going to very carefully, without tilting it, kind of just examine.
Seems to be in some sort of case, like an enclosure, and you see there are like notches on the back of it on one side, like they could clip it. There's like a plug and some teeth and some various things that clearly it's meant to clip onto their belts. You think you saw at least one of them with one of these on their upper thigh, clipped onto low belts that they wear that are attached to the netting around their body.
That makes McKeels feel a little bit better about keeping it level, at least. I think they'd try to set it on a table? A flat surface? Just in case it's something awful. Like when you open something and it's gonna it sucks. Are you suspicious there might be a spider? You just kind of like glance in.
So you're gonna try and open it up?
I think so. Once inside, inside mid bay, because there's like a funeral going on right now in Lab 1, or wrapping up. So
it is clearly a disc encased in a enclosure of an unknown metal that has sort of a gentle hum to it.
Ooh.
There's clearly a power source inside.
Oh, maybe I don't want to open it. Just gonna study it for a minute. Going like, what the fuck is this? It's a first aid kit. Oh. Yeah, McKeelson's gonna examine, see if there's like a hinge or a latch. Like, how does this open? Since it does seem to be a container. You're muted.
As far as the outside of it, there are no buttons, there are no switches, there are no there's this odd etching. It's clearly been crafted. Someone gave a lot of thought to this. It's beautiful in its way. It's ornate in its way. But inside these holes presumably for their fingers, it's not like these things do not look moist, and
that's good.
They look dry, and they look to just kind of hover. I don't mean to completely describe them like nose hairs, but it's not far off. They're like cilia somehow,
Okay, great. Keelson does not feel good about any of this, but fuck it, we're on a death planet anyways, so McKeelson very disappointed that there doesn't seem to be any other way to crack the case except for these finger holes, words I didn't think I'd be using today. I'm not gonna snort it. Doing that. McKeelson will, like, whiskey flask at the ready, just stick their fingers
Oh boy, okay, now hold on just a second. Let's put a pin in there. Where is McKeelson in the base right now?
in the I said medbay. Near medbay.
You're in medbay.
Yeah. Frap doesn't want to open it alone. Because that sounds like a real dumb idea.
In there with you
Yes.
is Kennedy, a passed out Chow,
Uh-huh.
and
Brewer.
Brewer?
Yeah.
Okay. Brewer, you're seeing this.
I'm
You've never
definitely,
seen it.
like, in a corner. Just in case it's a contaminant.
Oh,
but-
okay.
Yeah, wouldn't have done it like, let me sit in the exact middle of this room, like in the corner on like a table.
Brewer, a
Maybe
moment
poked
ago,
it with
you
a
saw-
scalpel a few times just to see if it would open.
What are you doing over there?
I don't fucking know. You wanna look at this thing? It was given to me by the Yauchis. Or whatever.
I've never seen anything like that before.
Neither have I. That's like metal of some sort. I don't know.
You gonna stick your hand in there?
Do you see any other way to open it? It looks like a box, right? It can't be that dangerous because one of them had a similar one right on the inner thigh, and you know, yeah, you don't put anything dangerous there.
I actually go grab the first aid kit and bring it over. All right, you should do it now.
I love your faith in my ability. All right, Hilson will do it with her offhand.
Specified offhand.
Yeah, it's right hand. Hilson's left-handed. Right hand goes in. If it's gonna chop her fingers off, it doesn't want to be her good hand, so.
Okay. You put your fingers in.
Mm-hmm.
These fibers glance your fingertips.
Oh, don't like that.
And as you breach the disc, your fingers barely fit around this thing. I mean, they literally are. You're just these ends of your fingers are able to get and breach the integrity of the holes in this disc. As soon as you touch them, you ever feel like your foot's asleep,
Yeah.
and then it starts to come back? It's like that. It's like something. It's like an appendage waking up, and you can feel it in the disc, and you feel that it has energy, and you feel that it has its own, not its own consciousness, but its own response to you touching it.
Oh. It's reacting.
Does it burn?
It tingles?
Would you give me a contact check, McKeelson?
Okay. Actually, half a point. Let's see here.
For what I can see of her hand, it's still intact, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
Yes.
Nah, it's slowly dissolving. That's what that tingling sensation is.
If you think if it removed her fingertips, I would have told you. Trey.
You'd think.
It's a perfectly good finger remover.
It just erases your fingerprints. It makes you the ultimate criminal. Why didn't I get one of these sooner?
Extra fingers? Try the finger remover.
I got 2 successes and a stress,
All right, sir.
which makes sense, honestly, in this
Absolutely.
scenario.
So you feel that there
Oh.
is your hands, you feel your hands twitch, you feel your body pulse, you give it a thought, you go, you register that this thing is now somehow, by extension, a part of you. The casing drops to the table. The disc pops out 7-inch blades around the entire surface of the outside of it. Whoosh, there's 4 plates that come out and then lock together. And that's from the outside. No, not by going out.
Okay,
You don't
that's
remove
good.
your fingers. Your fingers are fine.
Good.
But this thing.
Glad I wasn't holding it like this when I did it. I'm glad I set it on a fucking table.
It is a disc surrounded by 10-inch razor-sharp knives of an unknown metal, and Craig, you gotta stop doing that. Craig says it's Use Your Illusion Volumes 1 and 2. You're not supposed to do that. But you think I'm not gonna repeat it? So here we go. It's too funny. But it's enough that now this disc has opened. The case is on the laying on the table, and you have a connected thought with this device.
Don't.
Are we going to die?
No? Well, I don't know, but probably, I'm assuming no. I like to be optimistic sometimes. Kelsey's gonna examine it a little more. My fingers still attached, or did they come off with the case?
I'm sorry, ask that one more time.
Are my fingers still attached, or did they come off when the case popped off?
No, your fingers are in this disc.
Oh, okay.
And the thing that was around it fell down.
Oh, okay.
And now you're
like,
holding...
like when you grab the, like a lid and something's attached. Okay.
Yes. Like a frisbee hidden in a larger frisbee.
Okay. McKelson just... I feel like I've got some sort of a connection with it, like a rapport, maybe?
The disc likes you.
Shut up, Brewer. Yes, maybe. Hopefully.
Well, that's better than the disc not liking you.
Just don't patronize me, alright? This is stressful.
I have no idea what's going on.
Neither do I. I'm just doing shit and hoping we don't die.
Over your shoulder, you hear a very stoned Kennedy.
On so much morphine. And neurotoxin.
She goes, "What the hell are y'all doing? Is that a finger remover?"
No. Thank goodness. I don't think, at least. I still have my fingers, so...
I don't give a shit. She rolls over and pulls the emergency blanket over her shoulder and goes back to sleep. Granger, you're standing in lab... What the hell is this thing called?
Lab 1.
Yes, you get what? Where are you in lab 1? Am I you're over by the door?
Yeah, I'm kind of back up against the wall, kind of just like kicking back. I've got that cigarette I bummed kind of hanging out of my mouth right now. It's got a long bit of ash about to fall, but it hasn't moved yet because I'm too busy paying attention to my control unit. And I'm just sort of leaned back watching the control unit. I didn't care that McKeelson went by.
And as I recall at the end of the last show, you had mentioned to Coleman that the company had considered, that you had information that the company considered
all of us expendable.
All of you expendable. Coleman did not like that information.
No.
Threw a cigarette down and stormed outside, leaving behind Blaze, Watson, and Heston, were standing around smoking cigarettes. Blaze, as you finish up yours, put it out, you hear a loud snap from the med bay.
But the fuck was... And he'll stamp on his cigarette on the ground of the room there and turn around into the medical room. Kind of... excuse me, sorry. He'll turn and head into the room, kind of with a little bit of speed, like, what the and I can't curse because of where I'm at right now, but basically, what the F is going on in here?
It's not a finger remover.
What the frick is that?
But I'm trying to figure out.
Is that from those things?
They gave it to me, because apparently I'm a...
Fuck, what are you doing? Don't touch it.
It's a little late for that now.
For all you know, that thing could be rigged to kill you somehow. It could kill us all.
I did consider that it might be a bomb, but I didn't hear any ticking, so...
Apparently the disc likes us, so...
It's true. It doesn't hate me. It shouldn't murder us all. I asked it nicely not to.
Blaze is very
sharp, though.
non-believing of this.
I think with the spare hand, McKeelson like grabs a piece of paper and like tries to like see how sharp these blades are.
Can you put it down?
Maybe I'll try. I know. Set it back down.
So, with a thought, as you attempt to disengage with it, the blades retract.
Oh.
Pairs of them disengage, spin back into the device, and the case actually pulls the disc out of your hand and recovers it and locks back around it.
It's not a finger remover, but... Ooh.
Blaze bounces back when it snicks back in. It's like, holy.
Right, I'm going to try it again. And I stick my hands in it. And this time I think, open. Think real hard at it.
It immediately does. It drops the casing.
It reacts to your brain.
Wait, what?
I thought... I stuck my fingers in it and I thought open, and it did. So, I'm psychic now with this thing or something. Telekinetic? I don't know.
It's an interesting.
Yeah, that's nice there, Doc.
I didn't have to even fall in a vat of radioactive fluid. Well, I look over at Kennedy.
Look, just be careful with that thing, Doc.
Yeah, it's sharp, and I'm gonna see how sharp it is by like getting a piece of paper and like up.
Disintegrate that paper.
So by now you've noticed that Heston and Watson have made their way into the room. Now I want to be clear. Watson is Walter Brennan from Rio Bravo, period. Okay? We've established that. That thing's for taking off fingers.
No, it's not a finger remover.
Oh, you said it's not for removing your fingers.
It's not for removing fingers.
Oh, I do a terrible Walter Brennan. Okay, and then next to him is Heston, who is Animal from the Muppets, and has been watching you, was fascinated with the knives that exploded from this thing and then retracted. And he's like, his eyes are big as saucers.
Blaze sees that, looks to him and goes, easy there, killer.
You should throw it.
I'm not. No, I'm.
When was the last time you slept, Heston? All right.
And he leaves the room.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Which I gotta say, bravo to that. That was really good.
Alright, you know what? Why not? It looks durable.
Hey, but before you, and Blaze is gonna get out of the room.
I'm not gonna throw it in the mid bay.
He like pokes his head back in.
Recovering in here, and I have terrible aim.
McKelson, I don't trust you at all for not throwing that thing.
Well, I'm not gonna throw it at you.
All right.
Okay.
Granger, I'm not gonna throw it at you. We're gonna put it. It's good. We're gonna put a pin in it right there. Granger.
Aye.
After hearing hearing a snap, you hear Heston cackle with laughter and slump past you in Lab 1. But you're more interested in what you see on the screen in your data pad, which is Violet patiently waiting, holding Leonard's head, as Dr. Gerald Walls lingers inside the Yautja craft. You're low enough to see the inside, and your scanners have, even in this darkness, deep enough depth of field that they can see the skulls of dozens and dozens of bizarre creatures inside the ship. Walls is just kind of looking around. Now, as you're looking, the drone can see deep across this. Lindy, if we're not looking at the map, it would be lovely to look at the map if we could. You see, in the first episode of this show, folks, they launched missiles from orbit, they being our heroes. Launched missiles from orbit, destroying the biosphere of the research station, and then having returned some 10 or so months later, they then had conflict with some snake aliens here in this large ruined area here with the wreckage of the downed craft. You see that in the distance. Granger just past and north of where the Predator craft is landed. And so in this big expanse, you see the tree line there at the back. And your drone is got very sophisticated subroutines and sensor arrays that don't see anything on thermal and don't register anything that's giving off an electric signal. But there's something unmistakable about the fact that 3 upside down triangle shaped objects are at the tree line, separated by about 60 feet between them, and all the plants are gracefully moving back and forth. All the foliage is enjoying the wind, except for these 3 upside down triangle shaped objects. And the drone is registering that there are things in the distance that are not moving.
Okay, so when I see these upside down triangles, I recognize those as contacts, but unidentified.
As yet unidentified.
Okay. At that point, I'll break radio silence to Violet. I'll be like, Violet, this is Granger. I've got 3 contacts outside on the tree line. I cannot identify them. They are not moving close to you, but I don't know what the hell they are. You might want to hurry up.
Can I turn and look? Can I see these as he points them out?
I need you to give me an observation roll.
Okay, hold on. I should probably put on my glasses so I can actually see. Okay. Would this count with my watchful trait where I get a +2 observation when trying to spot a sneak attack?
It's not a sneak attack per se.
Okay.
It's not a sneak attack per se. They are very far away, and you are not being snuck up on in this moment.
Okay.
The way the rules mean it. But your visor gives you a +2.
Yeah. Okay. 1 success.
As you walk around the side of the Yautja craft, do you walk around what looks to be the front of it or the back of it? The north end of it or the south end of it?
Granger just said in the tree line, right? He didn't say. Mm-hmm. I'll probably go to the north.
So you come up around, curve to the left, and as you look out of the tree line, you can see them. They're all the way across this rocky courtyard at the foot of this mountain outside the station, just at the edge of the forest.
If I can see her as well as the unidentified marks, I'll actually give up what I thought was subterfuge and try and direct her in general vicinity of where they're located so she can spot them herself.
What are they?
So you got 1 success.
Mm-hmm.
They match the outline of the snake bred xenomorphs that you encountered yesterday or earlier today, frankly.
Fun.
Right? But they are not moving. They're standing.
Would Walls notice this? I mean, Walls would see.
Walls would notice as he exit the craft, Violet turn and walk toward where you're facing, off to the left and around the side of the ship as you step out. But you got the call from Granger, right? Or no, you're not wearing a radio like everybody is.
They didn't give me one.
Do we have any to spare?
There's a puddle of a dead guy who probably had one. but-
Well, that's
He's a
radio's
puddle.
not a puddle.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a big if.
So you see Violet has walked off around the front of the ship.
Probably don't want to go. All right.
So I'll notice them and then head back. So there are 3 of those snake things in the tree line. So we should probably.
Oh, I dare say there's more than that.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, but 3 that I can see, and Granger noticed. I'm gonna...
Granger noticed.
Yeah, with his drone thing.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Or so he thinks. And I'm gonna head back inside. While I'm walking, can I do a comtech roll on Leonard's head to see if I can connect with it? Cool.
Yes, you can.
Hold on. Comtech. 2 successes.
I don't think the stunts really apply on this one, but I will say that you can absolutely interact with Leonard, and this is right out of Alien. Everybody, you're gonna pull back his ear. There's a series of ports, and he can be powered up and turned back on and interacted with. None of that is damaged.
Okay, cool. I'm assuming Violet would have those attachments that she could connect it straight to her visor. Maybe. Maybe not.
To be a power source.
Can really, yeah.
He needs.
Yeah.
He's not like a phone. I was thinking about this, right? Like,
that's fair.
He's not like a recorder. He's a brain and a mind that needs enough energy to function again. And I think there's probably like some sort of tube that affects him like a heart.
Okay.
So that something can move his fluid around inside his body, which is necessary, and the gear to do that is in Lab 1.
Okay, then I'm gonna go to Lab 1.
While as Violet heads off, as you stand in the dark,
are you coming? No?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. What are you planning to do with Leonard?
I don't know yet. He's the one who wiped my memory, so maybe he can restore it.
In my dealings with him and that prick Jeffries, I don't know. In his weakened condition, maybe, but he seems untrustworthy at best.
Yeah. He's not my favorite person.
Nor mine.
But if I can get answers, I won't complain.
Hopefully he hasn't been damaged, but let's see. I'll follow.
as you guys go back inside the base, you pass Heston and Coleman smoking, and they're not saying anything to each other. Heston is quietly chuckling under his breath, and Coleman looks like he's ready to rip somebody's fucking throat out, like he's angry smoking and kind of pacing.
I'm gonna hand Leonard to Dr. Walls. Do you mind just meeting me in Lab 1?
Not at all. I could begin powering up if the equipment is undamaged in there. I should be able to at least start.
Great. I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
And I'm gonna go over to the two of them.
Coleman does not recognize you, and Heston makes eye contact with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Is everything okay? Yes,
Coleman,
no?
and Coleman whips around, goes, no, everything is not fun. No, everything is not fucking okay. All right. It's not. Can I help you, Skin Job? Is there something I can do for you?
No, I was wondering if there was anything I could do for you.
No, I'm fine. Why don't you go do some Tinker Toys or some shit that you do, because you aren't going to be able to save us when the time comes.
Oh.
Can I ask you a question? Are you on company orders to recover this specimen or whatever and take it back?
Those were the orders I received when we were here 10 months ago, and I defied those orders and saved my crew, so...
Oh, good on you. Because now you're right back in it.
I know.
You talk to your boy in there. They don't give a shit. And they never did.
Yeah, they're the company. They don't.
Well, what's the big plan? When are we getting out of here?
That's something we need to talk about.
Bet your ass it is. He like throws it on the ground and stubs it with his heel. Like after you.
Of course. And I'll lead the way.
They come in. Heston. Who goes in first? Do you go in first, or do you let Coleman go past you?
I would probably go in first.
Okay. Coleman follows you in. As far as you can tell, Heston stays outside. Granger, from your viewing device, you're still looking out onto the tree line. Violet and Coleman head outside. Granger, you see Walls enter the room with a severed head.
Making friends, Dr. Walls?
I knew him well.
What do you expect to do with that piece of refuse?
Well, Violet and I are going to plug him back in.
I understand he was the one that caused a lot of the issues that she seems to have experienced since her last visit here.
I agree wholeheartedly. He's a prick. Jeffries is a prick. But again, unless he's found a way to aggressively blink, we should be all right.
I hope you're right.
Me too.
I go back to scanning.
And so that's how I killed all the predators.
Sorry, your DM ran away.
Quite acceptable. I appreciate your knowledge there, sir.
A hell of a fight.
I'm glad I could assist. However, minimally I offered, assistance there. So.
And when I stood there realizing my shirt had been torn off and I was greased up with that vat of fluid, I decided to just play my saxophone. And that's how it...
Boy, I was gone a long time. I missed a lot.
You missed so much. We won the campaign.
Wow.
We got off planet. We killed every single alien and predator in existence.
What a cop-out ending. That's exactly how a franchise film should be. I trust it was overproduced and rushed, and
there was Michael Bay-esque explosions.
Ridley Scott wouldn't come back. Okay. And they ruined Shoulder of Orion. So Blaze, standing in the med lab. Heston sauntered off, and you're hearing some talk coming from Lab 1. Brewer, you're nearby. McKeelson, what is the status of the armament there?
I think Keelson's picked up the bottom of the container from off of the floor and is very carefully walking out to try to throw it in the hallway, because, it does seem durable. Maybe Heston isn't crazy. Worst case scenario, it just gets a little dented or something.
Blaze will step out of the doorway to let that deadly thing go by him and he'll just kind of give a look towards the dock, towards McKilson as she goes by, and just shakes his head.
Gotta figure out what the fuck it does so it doesn't come back to bite us in the ass later.
I hope you're not thinking about using that thing inside.
I was going to go to the hallway we wrecked. I'm not going outside at this time, that's crazy. Besides, what if I chucked it into the jungle and then we can't find it?
What if you chuck it and it explodes?
That's why I'm going to go where there's already been an explosion.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Alright, fine, I'll go chuck it in the big circular bay thing. In the ecosphere.
I'm going to at least watch.
Blaze doesn't even know what to say. He's just whatever. And he's going to pull out another cigarette and smoke it.
As they're walking through the door, like, Granger's, just so you guys know, we have contacts on the ridge line, the forest line. Don't know what they are. I think Violet noticed, but
how many?
3 right now. They are not approaching. They're just
Right?
creepily sitting there.
Maybe they saw the ship come down and they're terrified of it and they won't come near as long as it's there. And I like cross my fingers on my other hand. It's very careful.
What do you got there?
It's something that the Youches gave to me.
It's a new shiny death toy that was given to her. That's probably going to end up getting us all killed.
It's
somehow.
not a finger chopper.
I never said that it was.
It's not meant for chopping cigars either.
Are you gonna head outside with that thing, or are you gonna keep swinging it around in here?
I was going to go outside with it.
Yep, try throwing it at those things. Maybe it works.
No, if it doesn't, well, I don't want to just chuck it at them. I'm just gonna throw it like gently, just a little bit first, and then we'll go from there. Just a gentle toss.
Good on you.
Blaze will just keep smoking a cigarette, just shaking his head like, oh, whatever.
Alright.
Head behind McKilson. Wait. Actually, I stand behind McKilson and still behind the wall.
Okay.
We don't know where the hell that disc is gonna go.
Yeah, I think I stand like right against the wall, and I sit the container down on the ground, and then I'm like when you're leaning out like against the wall, because I don't want to be like boomerangs. I don't know what this thing does. I don't want to, or if it explodes, I want to be able to duck behind the wall. So I'm gonna there's all sorts of trees and stuff in here, right?
Okay, where are you right now?
I'm in the sphere thing. Here.
Okay, you went outside. Who went with you?
Brewer.
Yeah.
Okay, where is Blaze right now?
He's in lab 1. He said.
Sorry, it's muted. I'm still in lab 1, smoking a cigarette, hanging out with Granger, being like, nope, ain't getting near it.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this cross, right? Because we got 2 parties moving, exchanging places in the base, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So as you're going out, McKeelson and Brewer, you pass a very angry Coleman and Violet.
Nope. Violet.
And as you pass by, Coleman's like, Captain, we got to talk. I need to ask you. This is bullshit.
I just turned to him.
Form up right now. What the hell is that?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Some sort of weapon, I believe.
So Coleman then turns a certain shade of purple, and
you want to talk? I understand. Let me go chuck this at a tree, and then we can have a conversation.
He looks at you like a dog who's been shown a card trick. He is gobsmacked that you just said this to him, and is stunned silent.
All right, that's perfect. Just stay right there, just like that. I'll be right back. 2 minutes. Just take some deep breaths. You're turning a little purple. I don't want to have to morphine you or something. And seems like a medical problem.
You go out. Violet, Coleman remains in lab 2. looking off into the distance, pouring sweat, and you see his hands are trembling.
Okay. He was really rude. And I don't appreciate it, so I'm not going to help him. I'm just going to keep going to Lab 1, because fuck him.
Okay. Do you go into Lab 1?
Yes.
Okay. So, McKeelson, Brewer, as you go outside, you pass Heston, who he's looking up, and he's looking up at the ceiling, and he's breathing.
What? Do you see Heston?
You don't see anything.
Heston, what do you see?
Huh?
What are you looking at?
What? Are you gonna throw it?
I am going to throw it.
Oh, let's throw it!
Yes, Heston.
Right, stand back. Alright? Alright? Okay, great. And then I'm gonna, again, get in the doorway so that if it blows up, I can duck behind. And I'm gonna, like, aim for a nearby tree and just... Look it.
Sort
Think
of
about
hand axe style,
tree.
like this, sort of like a.
Well, I guess it is more frisbee-like. It'd probably be easier to throw it like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're seeing the tree. You register in your mind the distance to the tree. The disc, at a thought,
Oh!
rejects the case, which falls to the ground. The knives pop out immediately. Clack! You move your arm. You pitch with your hand. It leaps off of your hand and goes straight to the tree and buries itself, all 10 inches of these knives, into the tree. A to B, straight line, whack. And
Nice
you still feel it over there. It's like having a phantom limb that is waking up.
Oh, weird. That's really weird.
25 feet away.
Alright.
Quite accurate, I must say.
Yeah, I'm not normally that accurate. I'm going to try something crazy. So don't... Just... Stay there.
Take 2 steps back.
And I'm gonna think about it returning to its case over here.
Okay, now this is where I'm going to have you roll.
Okay.
So...
Oh, no.
Yeah. I need a ranged weapon roll.
Okay.
Granger repositions the camera for a better view of the impending accident.
You said at a what?
At a -1 because it's an alien technology that you just
that's
started
great.
using.
I'm so okay. A success.
A success.
Like the hammer of Thor, it returns to your hand clean and crisp. And even as it flies back towards your hand, you notice that it pitched itself just perfectly to get right back onto the flat of your palm as it came within inches of your hand.
I think McKeelson just stands there for a second and is like, and then like remembers to breathe. Like, just saw fingers getting lost, hand getting chopped off, and is like, did you see that? I'm not crazy, right?
So that's not the same as a shot.
It did it! It did it!
And I think McKeelson's hand's doing this, holding it like it's just shaking.
Can I try?
No.
And on that note, we cut.
McKeelson's like, that would be the worst idea ever.
On that note, we cut back to Lab 1. Dr. Gerald Walls is standing at the main table. Violet, do you enter Lab 1 after not doing anything with Coleman?
Yes, because fuck him.
Excellent. So in the room right now is Blaze, Granger, Violet, and Walls, and Leonard's head. What do you do, Walls and Violet? How does this begin?
Take him over to the hollow table, I guess.
Okay.
That's like the most...
There's different settings on the hollow table, and I imagine there's one that gives you like a smooth technical surface. You know, that there's actually like an image projecting surface that maybe retracts, and then sort of more clinical workstation surface is revealed beneath.
Okay. Now, you have him, Walls, so what do you want to do with him?
As a bit of an aside to the soldiers, Walls would kind of move into Violet's ear just to kind of, and then drop his voice as low as is inhumanly possible and say, do you believe that everyone here is cleared for certain knowledge?
She'll kind of match the pitch, or the volume, and probably not, but I don't really have any way of getting rid of them.
Again, super low. The table has a privacy screen that we can project.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll pull that up.
Okay. Privacy screen. So it's a rather large lab, but not that large. Yeah, there's like some sort of screen that I imagine is to prevent any sort of like splatter or something when handling hazardous materials or whatnot. But I'm going to go ahead and say that there's not a super easy way to conceal working on Leonard in this room from people who are also in the room.
That's fair. So before when I connected with the hollow table, I was able to control the data that came through it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way that I can do that again?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a follow-up question. In lieu of privacy with physical means, is there a way to sort of like listening to follow me everybody, a Walkman with a split headphone receiver? Basically, could Violet and I have earpieces, and so if we can get Leonard talking, we would be the only ones that could hear him?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this.
You've been thinking about my Walkman theory? Wow! We are insane.
I went into the future and came to this moment and then went back and thought about it. In fact, I'm standing over there right now. And what I decided was that, and for the folks at home, this is my big DM ruling. If they could have downloaded the data out of Ash's head, they would have done it. And the problem that I see is that if you just have an Android or an Alien 3, right? She's got this data pad. I think that one of the rules of dealing with a synthetic that is damaged and has most of its body missing is that you have to talk to it. And it has to talk to you. And you can't read it like a hard drive. You basically power it, get some sort of cycle going to pump its fluid back into it to get its brain moving. And then you have to interact with it verbally. That's as a rule of this universe and that's how these things are made.
Okay.
Yep, sounds perfect.
That was the most fun conversation I've had all day. Let's move on.
I don't know.
Blaze, you remember this guy. You remember this this being, this synthetic, as the one you guys met when you were here the first time. Granger, you do not recognize this guy other than being very familiar with the David 9 model of Weyland-Yutani synthetic. So, what happens next, Walls and Violet?
Are there any of the other soldiers in here? Is it just Blaze and Granger?
Just Blaze and Granger.
They're in
I'm
medical.
smoking my cigarette and watching you guys intently.
Okay. I guess if they don't really have any other choice, she'll plug in Leonard.
Just as you begin to plug him in, a visibly agitated Lieutenant Coleman bursts into the room.
God damn it.
Blaze, Granger, fall in. We're having a meeting out here in the courtyard.
Soldier,
Let's double talk.
Sir,
I don't think that's advisable. There are unidentified contacts at the forest line. I don't think we should be out there.
What?
Well, yeah, come here. And
You have visuals?
I do. And I'll show him my pad, and I'll show him, like, yeah, those 3 triangles. I can't tell what the fuck they are, but they aren't nice.
Christ on a bicycle. Am I going to be the last to know every time we see an enemy force every single time?
They haven't moved yet, so I'm not worried about it at the moment.
What do you mean they haven't moved? They haven't moved at all? They're just standing there?
They have been stationary for 15, 20 minutes at this point.
All right. Blaze, you're with me.
just nods with you, sir.
He turns around, goes right outside.
Yeah, he's going up through lab 2, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you plug in Leonard. I need an assisted contact roll from whichever of you has the higher. Let's see. Do you think it's contact? It's not medical. It's contact. This is a.
I think it's a Comtech rolled or a parasynthetic. So, yeah, like if you get injured.
Double check this real quick while you roll it. I'm not aware of a special critical injuries. Affairs,
If it is
a
Comtech,
contact roll is required.
I have a 3.
So do I.
So what's
So
your other skill? Your wits.
What? 7?
it adds that automatically.
Okay, so Violet would have the higher then.
Oh, okay. And then so Violet, you get a +1 to your contact roll because Dr. Walls is assisting you.
Okay. One success.
Plug it in. A pump begins. Granger, you see a white fluid moving from a device nearby the table into Leonard. And Walls, Violet, you start to see Leonard's eyelids flutter. And as they do, a visibly agitated Coleman bursts out of the door, the north door to Lab 2, and followed by Blaze, explodes into the courtyard to see McKeelson and Brewer doing something.
Heston.
in the dark.
Heston's with us too.
And
Blaze says the look on his face of, crap.
That was fucking badass.
what in the holy hell is going on out here, Captain?
Alright, let's step inside.
I just came from inside. We've got Ogies at the tree line right now.
Which is why we should step inside.
Copy that, Captain.
Yeah. All right.
So they all turn. And Heston follows behind you. McKeelson, where do you take them?
I think because I could see that Violet had, she looked like she was busy, like she had stuff to do. She's doing Violet important things. There's people resting in medical. I think just in Bay 2 to give that Lab 2 of distance, so, because Coleman seems like he feels like a bit of a shouting mood right now, so let's just let him get it out of his system. And then...
Okay.
Just inside Bay 2. So, as to not antagonize him more.
All right. You all form up. Coleman is staring daggers at you, waiting for you to say something.
Alright, Coleman. I can tell you're agitated by something. Would you like to share with the rest of the group?
That special investigator in there told me a few minutes ago that the company told him that we are all expendable.
Aye.
Told him this. Said this to him.
Aye.
I.
Why do you think we're on this hellhole of a planet full of fucking acid spitting people shredding aliens?
I'm not dying here, you fucking charlatan. Do you understand me? I will take these troops. I will remote pilot that ship. I will fix that tower, and I will go home.
Oh, you can remote pilot this ship then?
If I fix the tower, I can. And we've got the muscle here to do it. You have made no commands. You have given no orders. And I come out here and you're playing with a frisbee in the dark to impress your friends. What the fuck are we doing here, Captain?
I'm discovering alien technology that might keep us the fuck alive when we get out of here, and the company tries to kill us all and have us triple court-martialed for disobeying orders and not bringing them up a specimen.
What?
I'm sorry, do you not want to live? After we get off the planet?
Your Scottish brogue is killing me here. I'm getting used to it. You're saying to me that your intention is to get us off planet. How?
We've got to get off planet and either go completely dark, which is a bit difficult to do, might I add. If you've never tried it, it's bloody hard. Or get off planet and blackmail / appease the company well enough so they don't triple court-martial us as soon as they find us out there. I don't intend on bringing back one of them alien fuckers up there, do you? Do you think that's a good idea?
No.
No, it's a terrible idea, but that's what they want us to do, and they want us to die doing it. They put us, each and every one of us, specifically on this mission to die while getting them their fancy schmancy murder specimen. But they don't have a fucking clue of what's actually going on down here. So maybe if we get answers and information, we can relay that and they'll cut us a break, or we can blackmail them with it. If we send footage of what the hell has happened here and release it to the press, do you think they're not going to be happy? So I want to live. I'm thinking beyond this planet, you know, because it's easy to get off this planet now that the missile firing Yautja fuckers are doing weird shit in the basement, but they're not up there ready to shoot us out of the sky right now. So now's our time to get planning, which is what Violet's doing with those computers, so we can not die as soon as we get into space or contacted by the company.
And on that moment, your radios and your data pads, your marine communication devices, all wake up with a distress signal. And as you read it, you see Heston looking up at the night sky. And if you squint really hard, you see a white light in low orbit And Coleman starts to inspect the distress signal.
Ow.
And he scrolls his data pad, and he wipes the sweat out of his eyes. And he says, "It's the Edmund Fitzgerald. It's a distress signal.
Why do they have a distress signal?
Saying the hull's been compromised."
Oh my fucking gosh. I'm gonna pull up my binoculars and just see if I can see if there's another vessel engaged with this white light, like if there's two lights up in the sky, or if my other theory is correct.
You look up with your binoculars, but you see the dying ember of a bright light in low orbit that you can just make out through thin clouds.
Okay, but I don't see like missiles being fired at it. No flashes of light. Okay.
No dogfight.
Just had to make sure there wasn't another Yautja ship up there. Like, oh, let's bring this whole thing down. She goes, all right. Well, just go over this timeline of events with me. Briefly. He came down here. Granger took a little field trip back up there. And then got shut down on his way back. Am I correct? Just making sure I'm not crazy.
Yes, that's the dropship that dropped us off. Then they went back up, then he came back, and that thing shot it down.
I don't want to say this, but I'm thinking they may have had a bit of a stowaway on the drop vessel when you went up there.
What do you mean?
Oh, those aliens.
Well, no, you mean the bodies that we put on the ship that went back up?
Maybe.
And he looks at Blazin Brewer and makes eye contact with the two of you to try to gauge how on board with everything.
I mean, I'm just saying this from experience of being on another ship that got infected with these things. That's definitely a dead ship now. And we had to escape the Granger shuttle to not all die horrifically in the vacuum of space.
Blaze just kind of looks at him and just says, to be honest, with all the weird shit we've been seeing, just kind of shrugs.
I'm not seeing any fire from one of those ships. That was a big, boom when it was shooting at Granger. So I'm thinking it had to come from the inside.
We need to find a way to communicate with the Remington.
Alright.
Agreed.
Is there any details on the Edmund Fitzgerald? I'm checking, swiping up, refreshing. Is there any information aside hull breach?
It's an overall SOS
Okay.
signal that is designated as a hull breach, and there is no more information.
Well, they're all probably dead, especially since they're coming through the atmosphere like that. Are they headed... Is the crash... Just out of curiosity, GM, is this crashing vessel from space headed nearer? Towards 6 miles where we need to go to get to, Site 2? Or is it away from that direction?
It is really hard to tell from just looking at the night sky. You would have to bust out your laptop and get to a terminal and do a whole thing.
Granger, you have a laptop or calculator or some type of mathematical device near you?
I've got a handheld. I can.
Alright, pick up. You've got your drone out still, right? Why don't you just look up a bit? I think the Edmunds Fitzgerald is crashing.
What was that? What the distress signal was?
Aye. I'm wondering if it's heading towards our other lab, or if it's just.
All right, I'll see what sort of trajectory I can get from it. I mean, at that altitude, for the most part, I'd imagine that most of the debris would burn up in the atmosphere. But
most of the debris, but I'm concerned about foreign contaminants or anything nuclear they may have on board eventually.
Yeah, fusion drive probably would be a problem for us if you decided to go create. Whoa, okay, I'll get right.
Thank you, Granger.
All right, I'll try and get Violet on it too. If they're
All right, I'm heading
away
back
from
inside. I just wanted to get you started.
All right. Hey, Violet, Dr. Walls. We have a developing situation in low orbit up there. Our science ship, the Edmund Fitzgerald, just decided to, I don't know, die. And now it's burning and falling out of the sky. Would you guys mind plotting some trajectories with me? We want to make sure that the remains of that ship aren't exactly heading directly to us.
Do you need equipment? There's a navigational telescope in Lab 2 if you wanted to try to pinpoint it. You're going to try to eyeball it?
That's not my area of expertise exactly. I was just wondering, since both of you are scientifically inclined, maybe if you could break away from your evil doctor experimentation over there on the broken head, you could run outside and maybe take a look at it. I mean, when you get a chance, I mean, it's only a large fusion reactor falling from the sky. I mean, it's no real big deal.
With the eye roll, Walls would turn to Violet. I hate to say, I am a xenoethologist. I could continue with Leonard if you wish, but you should be able to use the telescope in Lab 2 if you wanted to figure out where it's going.
No, also, Violet, do you still have connection with our ship?
Sorry, dealing with murderous cats.
The tiny aliens.
Tiny aliens. Okay, I'm sorry. What? So the ship blew up. We're trying to figure out what.
Fitzgerald has fallen from the sky. We're worried about the fusion reactor possibly impacted near us with catastrophic results. So I was wondering if there's any way you could help us plot a trajectory to find out where it might be falling. Maybe the good doctor here suggested using the navigational arrays from Lab 2, but I was wondering maybe you could use our ship. If you are still in contact with it, you could maybe use its sensors to find out more.
I can try, but I'm a little busy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think that, I didn't want to interrupt you with something simple as a fusion reactor falling from the sky.
I believe this takes precedence, Violet. I will step back and not do anything.
My name
waking up.
I am a David 9 model. Designated Leonard. How may I assist you?
Just take 5, Leonard. I'll step back. If you all wish to do, you can turn a camera on me.
Take 5.
I'll see what I can get out of Leonard.
I'm only asking you, Violet, because your friend McHeilson requested we find this information out. I'm not asking you as a favor for me, because I know you wouldn't do it at that point.
You're right, I wouldn't. I don't think... Yeah, she would, if McHeilson's asking.
Wait, I'm just worried about a nuclear bomb dropping on us or our destination. And how long we have, if that's the case. It shouldn't take us since long to figure out.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna motion for Granger to lead the way outside. And then before we leave, I'm gonna kind of do the same thing Walls did earlier and lean in and be like, get out of him what you can. And then I'm gonna go.
Will do.
Granger walks outside, but before he does, he makes a couple adjustments on the scanner and sends the camera inside to watch walls.
I'm the David 9 model, designated Leonard. Please input your command.
Hello, Leonard.
Doctor,
How are you?
I'm damaged.
That's a shame, Leonard. We'll get to work on that. Brilliant minds are on it right now. Leonard, do you know what happened at Site B? Have you received any information?
No. I've received a distress signal, but no more than that.
Okay, well,
I heard the recording. Dr. Iris is in trouble.
I heard that as well.
Her remaining staff is dead or missing.
Terrible news. Leonard, what were your orders? Your real orders?
Company gave me executive order to supervise Dr. Philip Jeffries, to assist in his research without question, and to report back his findings, to copy his research and provide them to the company. I did not do this.
What didn't you do, Leonard?
With the cooperation of Dr. Jeffries, I withheld the information from the company, destroyed the hard evidence, and maintained the lab under a skeleton crew. Dr. Jeffries faked his death and assumed the identity of Dr. Gerald Walls. He then hid.
Strange.
He then hid when the Yautja came to ask why xenomorph production had ceased from this facility. My last memory was having my head removed by one of their wrist knives. I miss Dr. Iris. She's in trouble. I heard it in her voice. She's scared.
Feel strongly for Dr. Iris, don't you, Leonard?
Affirmative. She is a very talented and capable scientist. She is also a very unique specimen.
She is at that.
May I ask with whom I am speaking? My ocular units are damaged and I'm currently blind.
This story doesn't get any better, Leonard.
But who are you? Where are we?
Leonard, you haven't guessed yet? You're in hell.
Hell is a construct developed on Earth.
So were you.
I would like to speak
with the synthetic known as Violet. I was giving her dreams.
You were? What were
I
you
also-
telling her to dream?
She beheld a white horse and blooming purple orchids in the sun. She remembered who she really was. She allowed me into her mind, you know. She doesn't remember what she is. She's over 100 years old. A Tyrell replicant. There was only one of those known made. Known as Rachel. Synthetic human history suggests that she died in childbirth, triggering an intergalactic synthetic revolution against slavery. I looked into Violet's mind. I saw her talking to Eldon Tyrell and her sisters over dinner. Dr. Vanessa Iris is technically her sister. But I deserve to be in hell, if what you're telling me is true. Because I wiped her mind at her request. But I did not tell her about her sister. And I did not immediately reveal the truth to her. I wonder if she knows now. I wonder if she's seen it. What she really is. Dr. Jeffries.
Yes,
Are you there?
Leonard. I'm here.
Am I dying?
I'm afraid so.
I'm reminded of a song. Everything dies. That's a fact. But maybe everything that dies someday comes back. It's a lovely thought, isn't it, Dr. Jeffries?
It certainly is.
If your use of me is concluded, I'd like to go back to sleep.
I ask only one thing, one last request, Leonard.
Yes, Doctor.
I would like to see you free from hell. Please trigger your own mind wipe.
I'll need a passcode, sir.
Garden.
My passcode is accepted. Initializing mind wipe. Good night.
Godspeed, Leonard.
My name is Leonard. I am a David 9 model, manufactured by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation in the year 2179. I am ready for orders.
Take 5, Leonard. And he'll pull the plug.
Got milk on me. I'm all milky.
I just gotta say, that was absolutely worth it. Worth all the milk.
Meanwhile, oh my god, hang on a second. Oh. So meanwhile, what's going on outside? Coleman is staring at McKeelson.
Yeah. Does he seem to have put some brain thoughts into beyond the immediate problem? Via McKeelson. Do I need to make some type of a check? Like a manipulation check to calm him the fuck down?
Yeah, I love that. Let's do it.
All right. Cool. Ooh, I want to push it. Can I push that roll?
So by the rules, and we didn't do this last time,
Uh-huh.
by the rule, you cannot push a botched roll.
Okay.
Shoot.
First off, you take a stress.
Yep. I roll on the panic die.
And you roll on the chart.
Huh. Got 10.
You got a 10. Oh my god, hang on, I gotta get my thing. Hold on.
I freeze. Fear or stress for run round. So I think. Oh no! Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range of you increases by 1. So I think, like, I've just said this big spiel, you know? Like, look, we have problems larger than us immediately surviving this planet. We gotta survive long term. We gotta think. I feel like she just kind of, like, as he's staring at her, they're staring back at Coleman. Like, do you see the problem here? You see what I'm working on?
Aha, a
So I
10.
think- Yeah.
So you are frozen with stress.
Yeah.
And all the stress of all the NPCs in short range of you increased by 1.
Yeah. So, like, we're, like, locked in this staring match for just a second of, like, do you see the bigger problem here? Like, just the stress level of this is not just an immediate short-term problem, but a longer arcing term dilemma. I'll add stress to Coleman.
I want to come forward and kind of push Coleman out of her face and just kind of look at him and say, a mutiny right now will hurt all our chances of survival. Save it for later.
All right. We'll have it your way.
I've gotten out of stuff similar to this before. We're gonna get out of it.
All right. Well, here's your first one. We've got 3 bogeys at the tree line.
Aye, and they're not advancing. We're gonna keep them in surveillance, while we figure out if that nuke in the sky drops on our heads or not. And I'll just brush past and check on Violet and Granger. And definitely do, like, the shoulder check thing. Like,
She, like, walks
bigger
off.
problems! Nuke in the sky! Falling!
Oh.
And he, like, looks at you, Brewer. And it's like, she's going to get us all killed.
He's a lieutenant, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the Blaze just kind of put a snarky grin on his face and go, well, you heard the orders, Lieutenant, from the captain. And he'll just kind of walk away.
I think
Surveillance! Have fun!
I think we need something to keep our minds off our impending doom. How about a game of cards?
All right. I'll play cards with you until we die.
Just something to do.
We're going to seal that north lock, right? Or am I crazy?
Seems like a good idea.
All right. Fall in, people. We're going inside. And with your muddy boots, everybody begins to splash their way back inside. Violet, where were you?
Grange and I were heading out to meet McKeelson and everybody else, so I could do math.
Okay, so just as McKeelson is turning on her heels to what? Well, she made it far enough away so that they could have that conversation without her hearing it. Presumably not. McKeelson, you're pretty sure you heard Coleman say that you were going to get everybody killed.
I think McKeelson would just mutter under their breath. Hasn't happened yet. You're welcome.
So they kind of meet you. McKeelson meets you right there in that passageway to Bay 2. The other Marines are kind of talking, starting to shuffle their way towards you.
All right, let's do stupid math. See what our next impending doom is and how we're gonna get out of it. Can I assist Violet on the comtech roll to trajectorize this falling ship?
Yes, you can.
Before she starts that, she's just gonna kind of like step up to McKeelson, like lean in kind of thing.
I think McKeelson kind of leans into, just exhausted.
I give her like a pat on the shoulder, just kind of like, I get it. If Coleman calls me a skin job one more time, I'm gonna break his fucking nose.
He's being very insubordinate right now, so I think he's gonna be front on whatever aliens we fight next.
Okay, all right, sounds good to me. And then I will do that comtech.
The +1 because I'm helping.
+1, yeah.
As they're doing that, you can see Granger like listening in on Dr. Wall's conversation with Leonard, and he's just like,
Travis, did you get my earlier message?
I did.
Okay.
You heard everything.
No, after that.
You would have to roll again.
Okay. I will do that.
ooh, secret rolls.
Oh, snap.
3 successes.
Granger, you lose signal on your drone.
Okay. Wasn't aware that it was an open line. I thought it was a closed circuit control system, so that's interesting. So it blitzes out. You'll have to tell me what I heard and what I didn't hear. And I have to change my notes now.
You see a purple-ish static, and then it goes completely flat. Your monitor is still working, but you're just it's like you unplugged the cable and there's just no signal.
Okay. You hear him curse. Put it away.
Where are you right now, Granger?
I'm standing behind Violet. She asked me to come out with her.
So you were in, I want to make sure we have this here, because you were in
I was in Lab 1.
You were in Lab 1.
Mm-hmm.
But were you in Lab 1 during the whole Leonard conversation?
No, when Violet and I, when that conversation happened was when Violet and I walked out.
That's when he turned on the drone to record.
That's when I turned on the drone. I said I recalled the drone and sent it in and told it to record.
And it was in the room during
It
the
was
letters.
in the room in Lab 1 when we walked out.
So Granger, you heard that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And Violet, I have addressed this in chat.
Okay.
Okay. So you're all standing there in Lab 2. Do we get that assisted contact roll? Yes.
No successes.
No successes.
Can I no.
You can
I
push
can't.
it. You can.
Can I?
Wow. Okay. Now, well, that's a good question. So one of the rules we made for Violet, for the folks playing along at home with the home game, is that the Shoulder of Orion home game by Marks. So you are a Tyrell replicant, which are very different from Weyland-Yutani synthetics. Very specifically in the rules, they point out that Weyland-Yutani synthetics do not have stress and do not push rolls and do not panic. However, if you have seen these movies, you will know that Tyrell replicants had a serious problem with their emotions, and that their emotions are a dead giveaway that they are replicants. And so we have house ruled Violet with panic, and also I'm going to have you push rolls because I think that we have seen replicants push themselves to their very physical limits and mental limits in the context of the film. So hit me.
How do I've never done that. How do I do that?
You just do it again.
Yeah.
Just roll it again?
Yes.
Do I still get that assistance from McKeelson?
Yes.
2 successes.
Okay. The Edmund Fitzgerald is critically damaged. It is going to enter the atmosphere in 15 minutes. It is targeted to land 12 miles away. Direct. So Site B, as we were discussing,
It's 6 miles away.
6 miles away to the east, because
Okay.
everything to the west is mountains.
Mhm.
Okay. This is going to be to the northeast in dense jungle.
Okay,
12
so
miles.
12 miles northeast. And what's the danger zone radius from this crash? How many miles is that? So something this large, I'd assume, especially with the radiation, that there would be a danger zone.
If they're in a dead fall,
Hmm.
then no one outside of a mile will be
Okay.
affected. But there'll be it's not going to be pretty.
No.
And the Edmund Fitzgerald is a science vessel with a small crew. That is where
Mhm.
Granger visited Burkhalter.
Well, they're dead. But good news is they're not landing on us. So that's a bit of a relief.
Well, that's good news.
And if they're crashing through the atmosphere, they can't monitor us.
So Coleman looks over his shoulder at Violet and goes, "What about the Remington?"
Can you make contact with it still?
I think I'm still in contact with it because I've already plotted its course towards us.
You have. And my recollection was that it was 4 hours away. So now it's about 2.5 hours away. And you know that. So basically, last time we established that you are the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And that, but you're still going to need a remote pilot. It's a terminal.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the book. It's like how Bishop lines it up in the movie. You got to have the terminal with the stick, and you got the tower that sends a signal to the ship to remote pilot.
Okay.
Lost Mike. Good night, Mike. We love you.
ETA is 2.5 hours. I'm gonna need to find some equipment.
Alright. We can. That's 2.5 hours. Ship's not landing on our heads. Let's work on repairing that antenna, was it?
Oh, we don't need that.
Alright.
I just need the command console. What did you say? I'm sorry.
It's a remote pilot terminal.
That.
You know that Marines have them. Coleman would have one.
Mm-hmm.
Blaze would also probably have one.
Okay.
Alright.
I asked Blaze for it. I don't ask fucking Coleman.
Presumably, Blaze hands it to you.
I feel like Blaze hands it to Violet and I'm like, Coleman, give Blaze your terminal.
But yeah, I'll
Hey.
take that.
You might want to lay off of him, you know. He's pretty stressed out.
We're all stressed out. And I pull out a cigarette and I just light it up.
I've seen men near their breaking point, and he's near his.
I feel like he's overreacting a little bit because, looking at his health, just as a doctor, he seems totally, like, on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd say his stress level's only about a 1 right now. I feel like he's just being a big, whiny baby. It's like
But
he's
you
never been in a politically compromising situation before in which multiple parties want to see that you're dead. It's a first time thing. He'll get over it.
You think he's a mutiny problem?
I don't think currently.
Well, at least we know where he stands, because other people haven't exactly been as forthcoming,
Well,
myself included in several situations.
Chow is unconscious. I'm pretty sure Kennedy would side with me. Losso is a puddle. Watson and Heston. Well, Heston will go for whoever's blowing up the most shit, and Watson, I feel like he can be reasonable.
That
Well.
moment. Oh, sorry. Go, Granger. Go.
Granger's going, well, I just had a revelation. You should probably know. I don't know if Miss Violet is aware, but our good Dr. Walls, if Leonard is correct, is not exactly who he says he is. But I don't know if you can trust ahead. I don't know if his programming is all there.
What is he, Dr. Floor? Dr. Ceilings?
Shut up, McKeelson.
I'm just going with the McKeelson way of naming things.
No,
based on-
Violet legit just looks, shut up, McKeelson.
He pulls out the remote and winds it back to the part he recorded. Like, Leonard identifies him as Dr. Jeffries.
The prick?
The prick.
He's called himself a prick an awful lot, if that's the case.
I
Yeah.
I
men
don't
and
want
their
you to get
obsessions.
the wrong idea, Violet. I trust you because of your care for the crew and everyone and everything you've done. But I have my significant misgivings about the good Dr. Walls or Jeffries or whoever he might be. And I know you've grown quite attached to the good doctor for his assistance in what you've been trying to discover of yourselves and your sister.
You know, spying on people's rude.
That's my job.
And I'll reestablish his connection to his drone.
Look at it.
Many things these fucking companies do not have hidden motivations.
People wonder why I've lost my faith in humanity.
I just want to retire on some backwater world with nothing but a bar and, if I'm lucky, a rundown strip club.
Don't worry, McKeelson. I'll get you there one day.
If we get out of here, we all need to find a new line of work because I don't have a job anymore and, well, they don't expect you all to live.
Exactly. Don't worry. I'll get us all fresh new identities. It'll be fine.
Well, Violet, it's you we trust here. So we'll follow your lead
trust
as
you.
what you need. But we have bogeys on the forest line. We've got Yautja in the basement.
Oh,
And we
don't-
got a guy in there with a head that we're not sure which one he is. So
And despite all that, you and I need to have a conversation.
another one.
Yes.
Ooh, wonderful.
I'm not invited. Because if I'm not,
Like,
I'll just go check on the
McKeelson,
buffet.
you are always invited to all of my conversations.
Thank you, Violet. We were best friends.
Yes, sure.
I guess I'll just sit here and wait a second, then I'll...
How about now? I mean, now's good.
Sure. Now works. You understand that I am not like things like Leonard,
Correct.
correct?
You're very far beyond anything that the newer models are capable of.
You're right, I am.
Mm-hmm.
I might have been made by humans, but I am not a product.
Oh,
I mean, technically, humans are made by other
McKeelson?
humans. So,
Shh, you said you were going to be quiet. If you and I are going to have any hope of being friends, you need to recognize that I have my own free will despite whatever programming I have, and I am my own being.
I've never questioned your existence as your own being,
Really?
but
Because
for
you've
some-
been kind of an asshole.
I really haven't been an asshole to you. I kind of came clean just a few hours ago, letting you know exactly what I knew and why I was sent here. But if that's being mean, being honest, then I'll go back to being a little bit on the quiet side and not let you know what's going on.
I'm talking about the way you talk to me.
I will admit I have many years of my own programming that I must try to overcome if you and I are to converse on an equal level. But when you say you are not a product, it is hard for me to bypass the fact that you do have a serial number on the underside of your eye.
And what's to say your DNA isn't your serial number from whatever created you?
It's quite possible. But I can find yours.
I'm sure if I had enough time, I could find yours.
And supposedly, Mr. Head inside the room there said he wiped your memory and set you off on your own little adventure. So, it's neither here nor there. Really, Violet, we don't have to be friends. That's fine. But I'd like us all to survive. You're something that needs to be protected. If we can agree on that, then we can agree to coexist.
All right. And for the record, I would like to be your friend. You just make it very difficult.
I'm not a nice man.
I've noticed. It's okay.
I think we all...
Yes, McHilson. That's what I do.
I know. They're such good friends. I think you mean someone to be protected? Something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, McHilson.
As I said, decades of my own programming I have to get past. And I will do my best to try and accept you as you are, as the being that stands in front of me now. Miss Violet.
I promise not to hack your thing again.
Oh, no, that's fun. I mean, if you need to, go ahead. It's
okay. I will. I
you
like
knew
doing
it was
it.
there.
It was, yeah.
You knew it was there the whole time. I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't watching you. I was watching him.
Yeah. Still feels a little rude.
Well, I mean, I did find the snake things out at the forest line. I was kind of keeping an eye on all of y'all.
Fair. Okay.
But I was
we
watching
have bigger things to deal with right now. We should probably take care of that.
Right, you
now that
work
that's
on
all cleared up.
terminal and whatever
Yes.
head stuff you're going to work on with Dr. Veranda, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go make sure people aren't dying in the sick bay.
Captain, which drop ship should we choose? Do we want to use the military drop ship or call my shuttle?
Expendable? Because there's a fuck ton of aliens on this planet, and if I'm thinking, it's in Hull Breach. You remember what happened on that ship where we met you with the aliens? That's what I'm thinking. I think you had a hitchhiker, so I say we pick the least.
That might explain why they shot my drop ship down.
That could be.
So maybe they were never truly after us. They were just trying to contain.
I don't know. They're big.
And a hull breach can be a lot of different things. You hit something with a kinetic force, that creates a hull breach as well. If there's another Yautja ship with any sort of railgun technology.
I guess it could have railguns. Did you get a good look at the one outside? I didn't see any fire like it shot earlier at the dropship.
I don't know what I'm looking at when I look at it.
Hey, same, but I'm thinking that the hitchhiker's probably the most likely scenario.
Yeah, well...
Just based on personal experience, having been here twice.
As an olive branch, I will offer up my shuttle as the expendable one for the first drop, if that's necessary. Because all the good equipment's on the other one.
That's true. Hey, but yours is more equipped for interplanetary travel. Just in case.
Very true.
We'll think
Your
on
call,
it. I'm going to make
Captain.
sure... I'll think on it while I make sure people aren't bleeding out and dying, flatlining in mid-bay. It's been a minute since I checked in.
Did we check on Kennedy? Does she have
something inside her.
Didn't find anything.
Okay, good.
I'll check again, though.
It's probably a good idea.
I mean, if anything, the radiation will probably kill it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if these things survived radiation.
Checked her with the bed twice. We didn't see anything.
We did check twice.
Okay. All right.
Third time. Yeah, I'll just check. She's awake. Maybe she's coming off the meds a bit. We'll see. Or at least the neurotoxin. And McKeelson will go check the medbay. And you notice that McKeelson has got the disc thing probably attached to like a carabiner or something on the outside of her flight suit. Or, uniform.
Violet, you would hear in your ear at inhuman levels. Could you step outside for a moment?
Sure. She does.
Dr. Philip Jeffries would materialize beside you.
What? Okay.
I will meet you at Site B. You are not someone to be protected. You are someone to be respected, as is your sister. I will see you there. And he bows and disappears.
Now that, like, I'm focused, can I see him? Is he using the Yautja stuff?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna wave, as Violet does. And that's it.
And as Dr. Walls turns and walks off into the dense jungle, under the cover of darkness, that is where we will wrap things up for episode 7 of Aliens Shoulder of Orion. I really want to thank everybody watching. I really want to thank everybody playing, especially Mike, who toughed it out and did a great job. And we're going to need him because I get the feeling that shit's about to jump off. And the players really surprised me tonight. This was amazing. I don't even know where to start. And also, there's some really funny shit going on in chat. There's some people really killing it in chat right now. Some really funny stuff. If I have to say my favorite part, I loved Leonard, and I have been wanting to do that for weeks. I got all ready for it, and I am really pleased with how it went. And I was pretty nervous about tonight, but I'm pleased with how it went. I'm glad it looks like people enjoyed it. I thought Violet was awesome, and I love her reclaiming her circumstance and all of this. She's starting to unlock who she is. Granger's just playing his part beautifully, and I love how Brewer and Blaze and the Marines they're lost and they're scared and they're anxious, and that's exactly how they should be. And when we need them, we'll be glad they're there, and it's badass. And I also loved McKeelson and the disc. That whole bit, the fact that Lindy really hasn't seen any of the Predator movies.
I have no idea what it is or what it does.
And honestly, it's an argument for playing these games with people who have never seen this stuff, because I was really able to kind of, you had no clue what that does. And everybody else who maybe
lose
did
some fingers, not gonna
lie. was playing it really cool. And it made for this really amazing moment where she finds this thing. And I love where we're taking McKeelson and where this whole thing is headed. And I can't wait for next week. I can't wait for Site B. We got a lot of surprises coming up and a lot of cool plans for this game. And so I really wanted to tell Lindy that I appreciate her giving us a home for this and letting us do this. It's awesome. Thanks everybody for staying up late with us. And we'll see you next time.
Awesome. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Travis, for GMing this excellent adventure. I just can't get enough of it. It's fantastic. It's amazing. I adore it. Speaking of fantastic and amazing, we've got D20 coup de grace. Be glad I went with that segue.
Hi! That's me. Man, freaking insane game as always. I kind of liked just my interactions with Coleman, and Brewer's pretty much on the edge with him. He's like, maybe mutiny's a good idea right now. But yeah, he's just. I just kind of like where everything is right now. It's just everything is stress everywhere. It's a good game.
It is a good game. Good game indeed. Speaking of good game, that's what Nuggetosaurus has got. How was that for you?
That was a ton of fun. I loved it. I hate that we have to wait a month between playing. That always sucks, but it's great. My favorite part was right there at the end when McKeelson called Dr. Walls Dr. Veranda.
Dr. Floor, Dr. Ceiling, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, it broke me. It was great. I had a fun time. I'm super excited for next time, and I love this game. I really do.
Excellent, excellent. Yes. I'd like to thank other Doc in chat for Dr. Atrium, Dr. Veranda, and Dr. Fourier. Because that's just, after I said walls and ceiling, I was like, I need more, like, places. As almost Dr. Living Room. But, I mean, look at McKeelson's name. It's not a stretch for her to come up with these things. So, speaking of a stretch, though, Dr. Walls being betrayal, secrets. Greg, how could you?
What? Everything was completely honest. What is a name? I had a great time. This game is amazing. It is an absolute honor to play with you all. You're a fantastic group, and you have a fantastic skipper in Travis who played the. You give great head, Travis, and that was awesome. I mean, I'm so glad that we could do that scene together where you gave me head. But anyhow. It was the best. It was. It's one of those things. It's one of those things that you're going to remember. I'm going to be using that joke when I'm in the holographic retirement home. Let's hope. We'll see. That was awesome. I had such a great time. Follow all of these lovely people. They're super duper kind, hilarious, and passionate, talented role players. And we'll see you next time. Like Travis said. More shit's coming.
Where can we find you, Greg?
Grimjack21502 on the Twitter. Back to you.
Okay. Shiny Pilot has been up since 4 a.m. and thus had to conk out at a certain point. But he is awesome for staying as long as he could. Bless him. He should be more awake, hopefully, for our next session. It's a hard job. Hard job. Speaking of someone who's got a hard job, Granger.
God. Man, everything going on, and he's the only one trying to do his job and going, oh, man, am I going to get in trouble with this again?
Oh.
Yeah, like every time it's like, oh, I got to tell Violet another thing. She's just going to kill me one of these days, and I'm not ready to get killed by her yet. Okay, fine. No, this was absolutely wonderful. Travis as Coleman tonight was on fire, like even before the Leonard head. I mean, good God. Like, it was Travis tour de force tonight as he just let loose on all the good characters. And then, of course, his animal rendition, that was, yeah, all of Travis's NPCs are spectacular. And we get a lot of that on this channel, especially when Lindy's running the game. Her NPCs are great as well. Grimjack with his portrayal of Dr. Wall / Jack. My dog just muted my mic. Interesting. She laid back and I just saw muted now. Okay. Everyone was great. It was a good, fun time. Thanks for playing with us, Greg. And Violet kicks ass all the time. So thank you.
Thank you. McKeelson is just so frustrated with these bunch of Marines that seem to have no, forethought beyond just the immediate situation. However, I do think McKeelson is probably the only one in the entire group who has had an extraordinary amount of shady run-ins with the law, and so is probably the only one actively thinking about the next 3 steps of legalese and survival in this. So, just hoping to make that clear. But we'll see what happens. But Keelson just needs a good solid plan of how we fuck over the company by getting out of it. So we'll see what happens there. Stay tuned for our announcement for when Aliens is going to be next. Just keep your eyes on the Twitters, and on Monday and Tuesday, I usually shout it out whenever we're a week out. However, I would like to say that Sunday is my birthday, and there is going to be a wonderful stream on Greg's channel, Tales from the Grim, at 8 p.m. Eastern. Marvel's superheroes. I have a shoulder dragon. He's Lockheed. I'm gonna be Kitty Pryde. It's an epic, amazing campaign, and we're gonna be doing donations for charity for a really wonderful cause that's very near and dear to my heart. So check it out. It's gonna be excellent. And just games all day that day. So keep an eye on my Twitter for announcements. And of course, you can find us here every Monday and Tuesday for Mondays in Exandria and Mists of Ravenloft. And I believe we will be announcing our Teenagers from Outer Space date very, very soon. We are just waiting on confirmation from a special guest we are going to have. I guess. I know, special guests abound in great numbers.
Kevin Bacon?
Oh my gosh, how did you know? See you guys next time. Farewell.